Hey, Shalom, Most High Christ bless. Let the people know who you are.
Officer Haram.
All right, and today I have a few questions to ask you. We're going to start off with, what made you join IUIC?
Honestly, it was the discipline I seen here. Before I used to work at Walmart, basically came across a brother who was actually in the body. He introduced me to the IUIC music first. From the music, I actually found the videos, and the discipline I seen the brothers portray and show was what got me interested in what IUIC was teaching.
All right. How long have you been with IUIC?
Going on 2 years and a month.
Okay. So what made you decide to look for the Most High?
I've always been wanting to know how to walk according to what God says. I used to call myself a Christian, but never did what Christian stuff was. I knew I was off somewhere. Basically grew up in the church. My mother was always back and forth from one church to another, so that always kind of felt uneasy with me. And then at one point in time, she actually married a reverend in the church. So I grew up under his tutelage and basically learned somewhat what the church was teaching, but never really had a finite answer to how I'm supposed to live according to God. Then from there, just hop around from church to church. I always wanted to know something. I always wanted to know what the Bible was teaching, but never had an answer. So when I found IUIC, I got my answer.
All right. So what scripture is still the deal for you to continue searching?
Well, what's the deal for me to come into the truth was Deuteronomy 28, slave ships, Deuteronomy 28:68. When I heard slave ships was in the Bible, that's what got me hooked. I knew of slavery, like I knew history of it, and I always knew when talking to other nations, preferably Edomites, that in the back of my mind, no matter how cool I was with them, I always knew that your forefathers owned mine, and the things your forefathers did, if I did to you, you would consider me inhuman. So that always stuck with me. And then when I actually came across somebody who knew the truth and explained that history was actually part of what was in the Bible, it was never taught to us, from that moment on, I had to learn more.
All right. So what makes you want to continue to stay with IUIC?
To be honest, that's not a day that any of us don't sin. That's not a day that any of us go by where we don't mess up. And I want to do right by God. I mean, that's the only thing that keeps me going forward. I want to do right by God. And I want to by doing right by God is doing right by my people. So if I care for my people, if I show love for my people, and I show love for his people and do right by his people, that shows I love him. So I keep pushing to do right by his commandments, right by the nation.
All right, last question. What scripture, or what is your favorite scripture, and can you quote it?
Isaiah 43 and I think 4. It says, it says, Christ gave man lives for us, meaning he was willing to take the lives of other people for our safety, for our safety and our perseverance, our prosperity. He's willing to take their lives for us. Anybody who's willing to take another man's life for your well-being has to care for you. That's what my favorite scripture became.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to say shalom. Most High Christ bless.
Shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless.